I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back at it again with a brand new video, and today we're going to be focusing in on the biggest news, the biggest stories, and the biggest observations from the Carolina Panthers mini camp day 2. And as always, we're going to start with the injuries and the guys who are on the sidelines, and there were actually 3 today. First was the guy that we already knew about. Ian Thomas is not going to be practicing during any of the mini camp. He's not going to be seeing any kind of real action until training camp. He did have some passes and catches on the sideline, but, you know, he was off to the side. No big deal. We already knew about that. There was also Aldrick Robinson. He started off the day practicing, but he got a leg injury. It was probably his hamstring, but he got iced up, got it all wrapped up and everything. So we're not exactly sure just how serious that injury is. But Aldrick Robinson, who we just signed from the Vikings, a guy I thought could have been, you know, a kind of guy who could have the same kind of impact that Torrey Smith has. A real speedster kind of guy. Not a big body. He's like, what, 5'10" actually? But he's a guy who can spread out the defense, stretch the field, and make guys really respect his speed up the field. And it kind of sucks he got hurt today, but he might not be, you know, in serious trouble. Maybe he can come back and be all right for a training camp. I hope that this injury doesn't make him, like, get waived and we get another camp body on the team, because I think that Aldrick Robinson has a really good shot to make the team this year. And the last guy is Jermaine Carter, who's been hurt over the last couple of days. He had a leg injury, and I don't really expect to see him on the field at all for today or tomorrow, or just for tomorrow. I expect to see him more during training camp. I think he's going to make some really good steps going forward. Just hopefully his leg is straight. Other than that, I think that's the only guys who were actually like on the sideline, guys who weren't really doing all that much practicing. So that's really good to see. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the practice and the actual observations from the guys who are on the field. But before we get into that real quick, I just want to say, man, I feel like the writers or the front office staff or these publications or someone's got to be watching these videos, because every time I wonder out loud to myself in one of these videos talking about, you know what, I wonder how this guy's doing, or I wonder how like this position group is looking, or like I really want to hear more about this guy or this group or whatever. The next day, like clockwork, it's always the big story of the day. And if it's not the next day, it's like the next couple of days. It's like, I don't know, I have like some really good timing with this. Yesterday, the end of my video talking about the first day of observations for the minicamp, I said I really want to know more about the guys in the secondary. And the biggest focus from all the writers today during day 2 was the secondary, focusing mainly on James Bradbury and, you know, his press style of coverage. And they were saying they're going to try to do some more press, have him impress more, and maybe try to get Dante Jackson a little closer to the line of scrimmage. But I mean, we could still do that little cushion thing we did last year where he stays a little far off, and then after the snap he comes down a little bit, he plays, and his first step is forward. You never know. But James Bradbury, he's in a contract year, and I think Ron Rivera, he says he's going to, you know, let the front office deal with those big things, and Marty Herney let him figure it out. But he said, we figured out over the last couple of years, when you have a cornerback on your team that you trust, a guy who does, you know, shut down pretty important, pretty big guys, pretty big receivers on other teams, especially guys in your own division. Look at James Bradbury's stats against Julio Jones, against Michael Thomas, and even against Mike Evans. This guy puts in some work every single time. And, you know, I do not see us giving up the shot to re-sign him. I don't know what the number's going to be. I don't know if he's going to get max dollars or, like, you know, set the market. But James Bradbury needs to be on this team for the future. We'll get to that when we get to that, but I really do like James Bradbury a lot. He's a big factor to our defense, and on a defense that is going to be focusing more on attacking the quarterback, with our front 7 being what it is. I don't have to say that. Look, you know what the front 7 is. You already know what the front 7 looking like this year. Our secondary getting stronger is only going to make us that much better of a defense, a top 3, maybe even, you know, top 2. And I ain't talking number 2 defense in the league this year. But check it out here. It wasn't just our marquee name guys like James Bradbury putting in work today. We had some backup guys. We saw Quinn Blanding, a backup to a backup kind of safety guy, a guy who, you know, he might make the team, he might not. He might be one of those depth pieces on the roster this year, but he got a pick today and yesterday off of a tip from a corner, so that's really good to see. And we also saw Colin Jones. Now, wait, hold up. I see your thumb above that thumbs down button. Hold up now. Every time I say Colin and Jones in that order, I always envision someone watching videos like, hold up. Okay, if he says, you say them words again. Say them words in that order again. I'll press this button. Don't do it, bruh. You better not say it. Look, Colin Jones got a pick today off of a tip from Dante Jackson, which is good in a couple ways. In one way, I mean, look, it's Colin Jones. Don't make me say it again, bro. But the thing about this is, seeing us getting so many tip picks, it is minicamp, you know, and it's not all that. You can't really put too much stock into how quarterbacks are throwing during minicamp. They're just getting things down, trying to like see what they can do during minicamp. But the big thing about that is that in the secondary, if we have our guys in secondary, our cornerbacks tipping up passes, you know how if they can't get a catch, they're just going to try to tap it down or whatever. But if our safeties are good enough and aware enough to be able to track the ball after a tip and still make catches, still make plays off of that, our secondary can be so much better because our corners can depend on our guys even further back behind them. And they may even be willing to maybe risk tipping the ball up instead of slapping it down, although I don't see that happening too much. But if you have a crew behind you who is good at tracking the ball and is good at, keeping their eyes up and staying aware and catching balls off the tip, you never know. You never know just how explosive our defense can be if we have a front seven who can get to the quarterback and a back four who are good at both catching the ball by themselves and good at playing together as a team to maybe let their skills get other guys in position to make even bigger plays. You never know how it's going to work. And I know it's Quinn Blanding and Colin Jones. Don't press that button. But, things can happen. These things could happen. And it is good to see us with our secondary playing so well and doing these kind of things in practice. And, perfect practice makes perfect in the games. So I'm really looking forward to see how we do later on in training camp and in the preseason. And we see more of that going forward. Then anything can happen. There was also news that Gerald McCoy was doing what Gerald McCoy does. I heard he was borderline unblockable, which is this news to? Raise your hand. This is news to you. Gerald McCoy, borderline unblockable. Is that news to you or behind you? Is that news to you? Yeah, you watching the video behind him. Yeah. No, it's not new. Okay, check it out, man. I heard he actually pushed the whole blocking sled to the side, bro. Who? What? Where? This man going hard during minicamp? This man is hungry. This man wants it. This man sees that week 2 matchup. He said, hold up. The Bucks, he said, look, I'm going to see you then, and I'm going to see you in merry old London. And I bet he's envisioning Bruce Arians in every single blocking drill he has. I don't care what it is. I don't care. Hey, look, this man sees Bruce Arians' face in every single old lineman he goes against, and it is what it is. We're going to see some really good work out of this man this upcoming season. And staying on the D-line, we saw Brian Cox Jr. and F.A. Abada take snaps playing at the 5 tech and the 3-4. So we might see them, they could get some reps out there. I think that was the most likely scenario for those two guys. They were not going to be playing 1s or 0. So I mean, we could really see F.A. Abada out there doing some really good work. He makes the squad no matter what this year. I mean, the Panthers will not miss an opportunity to have F.A. Abada, a guy from the UK, and in the Panthers' very first year having a London game. He's on the team already. We will see him get some snaps, and I would not be surprised if you see his snaps go up considerably during that London game. That's a story for another day, though. But Brian Cox Jr., he hasn't been the best player for us stat-wise, production-wise. We know what it is. But this could be a revitalization year for him. He could put in some really good work for us. And, this could be a really good time for this guy. And this could be the scheme where he actually breaks out. One last thing, we saw Cam doing what he did, just yesterday. Not a lot of throws, I think maybe 20-something throws. And some were stationary, some were to moving targets. Nothing too far. I think they said his farthest was around 20 yards, which is around what he did yesterday, maybe 25 yards he got up to yesterday. But still, a pretty controlled practice, scripted throws, nothing too strenuous for this man, Cam. But he's going to be ready, bro. Cam's going to be ready by training camp, by the preseason, by the regular season. I've got no doubts about it. And that's about it for today, man. I'm really hoping that Alden Robinson is good to go going into training camp because I really do still believe in this man. And he could be one of the guys, him and Terry Godwin, have an outside chance, get that 6th spot. If the team doesn't want to go with a kick return, punt return specialist, it can be between those two guys for the wide receiver battle. And those are guys I really want to see go at it in the preseason when we can see them go against actual talent. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, man, that's all I got for you. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Cam? What are your thoughts on James Bradbury? Do you like him? Do you not like him? What do you think he ranks, with cornerbacks in the league? Is he top 10, top 15-ish? What are your thoughts on his shutdown abilities? What are your thoughts on our secondary as a whole going into this year, man? Do you still have questions about Rashawn Golden? I mean, I want to hear more about Kai Nakua. That's what look, if I have powers right now, hey, look, writers, whoever's watching this video right now, man, I want to know more about Kai Nakua. That's my biggest question in the secondary. Is he actually good enough to, maybe compete with Rashawn Golden for that free safety spot? That's my biggest thing, man. What are your biggest questions? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, peep that pinned comment in the comment box below. And look, you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.